Bundt cakes are all the rage right now. We're gonna make a moist, delicious hummingbird bundt cake. Let's get started. I do have my apron on today, and it seems like lately all I've been doing is messing up my clothes because I don't want to wear an apron. I just think they're so pretty, I don't want to mess them up, but I found one that's sturdy enough that it can even last me. So the first, we are going to be making a hummingbird bundt cake. Bundt cakes are the rage right now. I just saw in the city of Jacksonville, they just opened a little bakery that just sells nothing but bundt cakes, and they were really good, but they were really expensive. So I am going, there's a fire. There's a fire going on in my backyard. We're burning some trash. But the other day, I was making I just saw the smoke and it kind of startled me. The other day, I was making my baked spaghetti, and I ran some down to my parents' house. And when I came back, the fire department, the rescue squad, everyone was here at my house. Our hot water heater caught on fire. At first, I thought I had left my stove on, but the hot water heater caught on fire, and that was, smoke was everywhere. My husband did get it out. They came, got it out. They brought in their big fans and got the smoke out of my house. It was in the back of the house. Actually, the hot water heater is in my closet. So needless to say, my video, my baked spaghetti video came on this morning instead of yesterday because just chaotic around here. So now let's get to this hummingbird bundt cake. This is so easy. This is my version, my own recipe. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wet down. I found my cake strips, and my husband washed them, and I guess he put them in a different pan that I normally keep them in. So, and I also remembered them. So we are going to wash these cake strips, but first we're gonna grease this bundt pan. It's pound cake pan, bundt pan, whatever you want to use, but I'm gonna grease it with a little bit of Crisco. I just think pound cakes need to be greased. Sometimes if I have Baker's Joy, and I do have some, but I just think this cake needs to have a little bit of grease it myself. Such an easy cake. So we're just gonna take our Crisco and put it all around in our pan. I've only used this cake pan a couple times, but I don't think I've ever put the cake strips on it. So get it good and greased in there, but make sure there's no big globs of grease. Just kind of smooth it all out, I should say. Okay. Now we're going to take a little bit of flour. I just keep some, so I don't have to keep going in and out all the time. Just going to put a little bit of flour in the pan. And we're just going to tap it out. Make sure it gets everywhere. On the middle part. This bundt pan does not come out as other bundt pans. You know, when you have the older one, this is a little bit easier to grease because it's so if you have this kind of pan, I think from now on I'm just gonna keep using this kind of pan, but I think this would be perfect for what I'm doing today. We got our bundt pan greased. We're gonna get out our cake strips and we're gonna wet them. If you don't have cake strips, don't worry about it. They are linked in the descriptions below, but I love a cake strip. When I can remember to put them on, you just wet them and I'll show you how to put them on. So we have our cake strips. They are wet, and we're just gonna put them around our pan, and there's a little loop inside, and this should go on, and they're wet, so they do just kind of stay. I've never used the cake strips on this pan, so it'll be kind of interesting. You see, it's just a little loop right there. I pulled it kind of tight. I don't know if this will use 2 or 3. I just think it makes your cake very even. The reason that I like cake strips is your cake levels off. You know how like in bakeries their cake layers are just so beautiful. I just think that's what it does. I think it just helps add and mine are very warm because I use them, and you put them in the oven, but you have to make sure that they are. I do think 3 will be perfect. And oh yes, 3 is perfect. You can do this before. I just think it's easier to grease the pan first, and if you don't have cake strips, just, you know, it's not really gonna make a difference in taste or anything like that. It just gives you a more even cake. There we go. Now we're gonna set our pan to the side and get on that cake. Okay, so now we have our bowl, and we are going to be using a perfectly moist Duncan Hines Pineapple Supreme Cake Mix. You can use a yellow cake mix if you like, but Duncan Hines is the best. Just gonna pour it right in our bowl. Then we need 1 box of vanilla instant pudding. We need to make sure it was instant. This makes such a moist cake. We need 4 large eggs. So we've got our eggs in. We need 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Just throw it right in. 1/4 cup of brown packed sugar. 1 cup of pineapple, crushed pineapple, but do not drain it. We want the liquids. And now we need 3/4 cup of vegetable oil or canola oil. Whatever you have is fine. I'm gonna pour that right in. And we're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, I love cinnamon. It's my favorite spice. Okay, and now we're gonna get our mixer, and I forgot my mixer. So now I'm gonna get out my mixer, and we're gonna combine it. Now we're gonna scrape the sides. Make sure the bottom is, all the ingredients are combined. Okay, now we are mashing up 2 large bananas. We're going to put in our hummingbird cake. Okay, we are mashing up 2 large bananas to put in our hummingbird cake, because you can't have a hummingbird cake without bananas. We don't want chunky. We don't want these chunky, we want them mashed. Now we're just gonna pop it right in. And then we're gonna take a half a cup of chopped walnuts or pecans, whichever you have on hand. I have walnuts on hand. And we're just gonna kind of mix it in. Or fold it in, I should say. The fire at my house the other day, when I walked in my house is kind of divided, each room is divided because my house was built in 1929. So every room is divided. And every room has its own room. And it's been remodeled and redone and, you know, everything like that. But when I walked in, the smoke in the back, the fire alarm was going off. The firemen were here. They were bringing in big fans. It was so black. And it just blew me away. I could not believe it. And I'm thinking, how am I ever going to get this smell out? But it did. It came all out, and we worked really hard yesterday at cleaning it and working hard on it, and we did. We got it done. So a little bit stressful, but our house didn't burn down. So we were real excited about that. And we did get a new hot water heater, and we live in a small town. That's the good thing about living in a small town, is that people just immediately, they just come to the rescue. It was just amazing. And we knew people, our neighbors came, they knew exactly who to call. My husband went down and got a new hot water heater, and they got it out and got it in, and it just is amazing. In less than 15 hours, you wouldn't even know that. Well, I did it while I was cleaning, but anyway, I have hot water again. Enough about my little story. We're gonna get back to this cake. Okay, so we got our walnuts in, our banana in. This smells so good. We have our cake pan. See how quick that was? It's just so amazing. We're gonna get our cake mix put right in. Oh my goodness. I just remembered I did not preheat my oven. But that's okay, because it needs a set. You know how I like to have my cakes and stuff set for a few minutes. So we're gonna let this set for about 10 minutes while my oven heats up. I do not have a fast preheating oven. We're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. If it was a pound cake, we would do it at 325. Pound cake has such a thick batter. This is just a perfect cake batter. But this is my version of Hummingbird. This is my version. This is my simple version of a Hummingbird cake. Okay, now let's go preheat that oven to 350 degrees. So I'm just gonna wait a little while till my oven preheats. You don't wanna put it into your oven until it is fully preheated. I'm gonna clean up a little bit, and then we're gonna get on our Hummingbird icing. I haven't decided if I want to do a syrup or a cream cheese. I'm gonna do a cream cheese. I'm gonna do a cream cheese icing. This is a very wonderful cake to take to homecoming, to a church social, family reunion, whatever you would like. This, or just make it for yourself and have it with your coffee in the morning. That's what I do a lot. I do that all the time. My oven has finally preheated, so now we're going to get our bundt cake in the oven. Okay, we're going to let that stay in the oven for about 45 minutes, and I'm going to check it. And if it's not done, I'm thinking 50 to 55 minutes, but I'm going to check it at 45 because I just want to make sure that I wrote it down right. My alarm is going off, so we're going to go check this cake to see what it's like. 45 minutes is perfect. See how even the top of the cake is? That's why I use the cake strips. Guys, it smells so good. And I know it's done because I've looked at enough pound cakes and bundt cakes to know when it's done, because I make them all the time. I make one about once a week or every other week. I really do. I love them. I give them away. They're great for gifts, and you know, they're just great with coffee, great for gifts. You know, I really do make a lot of pound cakes. Now we're gonna make that icing to go on top. This cake is gonna be so good. I'm so excited. We are going to need about a cup of pecans chopped. I'm going to go ahead and chop them. We're gonna sprinkle them on top of the cake. And by the way, we only want that cake to stay in there about 5 to 10 minutes because of the continued cooking if we don't get it out. We don't want a tough cake. We want a very, very soft, moist cake. So let's get these nuts chopped up. And these are walnuts because that's what we put in the cake, and that's what we're going to put on top. Now we're going to get on to our cream cheese icing, frosting, whatever you want to call it. And this has been setting out, and we don't want it too cold. Now that cake smells so good. Okay, we need 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm just going to pour it right on in. Yes, 2 cups. 1 pound, yeah, 2 cups. And a stick of butter. And this is the way I always make mine. I just threw it all in a bowl. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. But you can use any kind of extract you want. If you want pineapple extract, I think they got some of that. But coconut extract would be good. But we're using plain old vanilla. Okay, so we got our cream cheese icing all done. Just gonna stir it around. And in a few minutes, we're gonna pour it on that cake. We're gonna let it cool. I'm gonna get that cake out of that pan. Our icing is all done. You can put a glaze on this, but I really think I want an icing for it. It really tastes more like the Hummingbird cake if it has the coconut cream cheese. If it has the coconut cream cheese icing on it. Hold it with these cake strips on it. That's another bonus. Look at that. It's gonna be perfect. So if you got cake batter on your cake strips, you can just throw them in the washer, but they are completely dry, and I didn't get any cake or they're not dirty, so I'm gonna use them for another time, and they are dry, and because they got dry in the oven, this cake looks so good. You see how even our cake is? It's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. And I just realized that I put my little cooling rack upside down. So, we got it. I think this cake could be placed in those, you know, I think I bought a little cake for $5.99 the other day, a little bundt cake. This right here is like the $1 million pound cake. This is gonna be good. You see how even the top of the cake is? That is what the cake strips do. They just make you have a perfect looking cake. So I could serve this just like this, and that's why I like the cake strips. I think they're like $10.99 for 8 maybe. I don't know. I'm maybe 4. I don't know. I can't remember, but they are listed. They are linked down below, and you should get you some. I'm telling you, they're my favorite thing in the kitchen now. They're my favorite thing in the kitchen. Oh, besides the cakes. When I'm shooting the videos, and I take my mom over the cake that day, she says, well, have you got it up on have you got it edited, or have you got it, is it on YouTube yet? I said, Mom, I just made it, so I hadn't had time to edit it. But she wants her cake right out of the oven and warm and hot, and she wants me to bring it to her, and she wants the video up and edited at the same time. So can't do that yet. I'm not Superwoman, but my mom is definitely, if you're seeing this, Mama, which I know you are, you definitely have already eaten a piece of this cake. So I think I might have to go live, and then that way she can, I've never gone live before, so I might have to go live and make the cake, take it to her, she can get it hot, and I'm live at the same time. I could do that. We really could do that. But I'm kind of nervous about doing that. I'm kind of nervous about going live because things happen in my kitchen all the time that, you know, from a bird running into my screen door, to me forgetting to put sugar in the cake, just all sorts of things. So I'm kind of nervous about going live. But anyway, if you think I should go live, hit the like, comment below, let me know, and I'll think about it. And we are going to go ahead and put on our cream cheese icing. It's not completely cold, but it is good enough. I can't wait no longer. And then we're going to cut this thing and we're going to try it. And I wanted a thick icing so we can just get it on top and not on the sides. I guess I should have put it on a cake plate. See, this is why I'm scared to go live, because I forgot to put it on a cake plate. But that's okay. You know what? It's okay. I'll get it on one. I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle some walnuts on top. I can't wait for my mama to try this. You know how your mama and your daddy are your biggest fans. Okay, so that was about a cup of walnuts. I think this cake is pretty, so I'm gonna have to show it to you like this. I'm gonna have to show you my cake on the wire. So pretty. Now I'm gonna put it on the cake plate. Just gonna kind of slide it. Easy. So now we're gonna cut our Hummingbird Bundt cake. I can't hardly wait. I can't wait to take it to my mama. Oh my goodness. It's still very warm, but I want to try it. This is such a moist, oh my goodness, look at that. It's so moist. It's the best. This is still very warm. I went ahead and frosted it because my mom likes a very warm cake. So that's what she's gonna get. You know, most of the time you want the part with the icing. This cake is so good. If I hadn't have put the frosting on it, it would have still been awesome. Hit the like button, comment, go make this cake. Subscribe to my channel. You guys are awesome. Go have a wonderful, wonderful day. Go make the cake. It's so good.